That is about as comprehensive a 1-0 win as I think you will ever see. That was an absolute hammering at Stamford Bridge today. Almost kind of a shame it wasn't more than 1-0, but 3 more points to the Arsenal. We're top of the league. Ryan and I are going to talk about it right now. How's it? Welcome into the Sunday Gunner. You know me. Pretty sure you guys all know him. Little people's eyebrow action.
Yeah, I'd be a little upset if they don't know me, but
I know,
it's
right?
fair. It's fair.
Yeah, man. Good day to be a Gooner. Fucking fantastic day to be a Gooner. How you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, we have Twitter is a buzz and social media. I mean, social media in general is a buzz, and everyone, this is our best performance, this is our most complete performance, and I mean, you really can't argue that. I mean, I guess you wish Jesus would have headed that ball in early on. You wish that Partey didn't take Martinelli's free header, but I mean, little things that could iron out. We need to work on that final ball. But yeah, no, I mean, top of the league with one Premier League game left until the World Cup. And yeah, I mean, it's exciting, but we still need to just still manage expectations. We still have things to work on. We're not a perfect team yet. And very curious to see what we could do in the January transfer window, if we even do anything.
Yeah, we'll come on to that in a little bit. I want to spend some time on the game today, and these 7:00 starts, man, are brutal. Especially when Ryan and I both decided to go out last night and have us a good old time. Thankfully, we turned our clocks back an hour, so we got an extra hour of sleep. That would have been great if I would have actually gone to bed at like 1 or 2 a.m. Either of the 1 or 2 a.m.s that we had last night. It was like 3 a.m. after turning the clocks back when I went to bed. So, and I was feeling it this morning. I was pounding water like it was going out of style. But yeah, I'm glad I was up, got downstairs. USA that my streaming was a little goofy. I got in at like the 2-minute mark or something like that. But yeah, you wanted to see, Gabriel Jesus kind of get off the schneid, and head that ball into the back of the net. But at the end of the day, no harm, no foul, so to speak. We got the win. But this was, Lone Star. And Lone Star, welcome back into the fray, my friend. It's been a long time since we've seen you in here, so we're pretty happy to have you back in the fold. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said the same thing today. I think Robbie Earl actually said the same thing on USA post game. That was a drubbing. Were you at all worried that did they? I mean, to me, they didn't really look all that interested in scoring. Chelsea didn't. Were you nervous at all at any point that they might?
Funny enough, I was for most of the game because don't get me wrong, we were the better team. We hammered them, but I don't know, just something about the way they were playing and just them being Chelsea. Not to say that they're like a great team or anything like that. I mean, they're not a bad team. I just felt like they're doing so much wrong and we were doing so much right, but we weren't scoring. I actually wrote in my notes. And I said to myself a couple times towards the end of the first half, I was like, all it's going to take is just one thing for Chelsea to go right, and they're going to score a goal. They just need one piece of magic, one little thing, and they're going to score, and we're going to be down 1-0 at halftime. Because like they were in our half, they had a few shots. Like it's not like they had zero chances. But yeah, I guess I was kind of reverting back to same old Arsenal, but we used to play games where we would dominate a team and all it would take was either for us to fall asleep. Usually it was us falling asleep and shooting ourselves in the foot, but I was not even expecting us to shoot ourselves. I was expecting Chelsea to get a lucky one, and players that have a storyline or something on the line and they're playing us, they score. You look at Marcus Rashford, his first legit, I think it's his first Premier League start. He scores a brace against us. Someone I think last season scored their 100th goal against us. Ronaldo scored his whatever goal against us. So I was like, okay, well, Aubameyang's first game back, I was nervous, but yeah, I mean, it's funny because my attitude at the end of our last show, when you asked me about the game, and I just was so confident we were going to win, and I just didn't see us losing. And then when we were actually watching the game, I'm like, oh, this is going better than expected. And then I'm like, this is going to let me down. They're going to.
This is going to be the game that
stupid, and they're going to score, and I'm going to be furious. But yeah, no, that didn't happen. So overall, it's a complete performance, and you can ask for a little more. So I won't completely do roses and butt cheeks all over it, but beating Tottenham, beating Liverpool, beating Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, none of them are easy games. So I'm excited. Josh Kroenke said, "Get excited or be excited." I'm excited. He got me. You were right, Josh. You were right.
Is it? I have steered clear of the we're in a title hunt. I still think up until today, I thought it was a little premature. I thought, pump the brakes a little bit. You said earlier, manage expectations. Are we the favorites to win the league right now, or would you still say it's City?
So I guess when you want to look at it from just a math standpoint and just numbers, we're the favorites. We're top of the league. We have more points. But when you look at Man City and you look at their track record and what they've done, and you look at our track record and you look at what we have done in past seasons, I would still probably say Man City are the favorites, but I genuinely think we're the more balanced, more complete team. We're more balanced, we're more complete than Man City is. I think we're the most balanced team in the Premier League. That's not to say that we're going to beat City both games, but perfect. Lolo hit it perfectly. Their depth is something, and their experience is something. They've been there before, and I just feel like sometimes Haaland, if he wanted to, he could just score a hat trick and just be like, all right, this is a big game, right? Yeah, I'll put 3 in the net and calm it down. And I'm also negative Nancy, and in the fact that I just don't feel that the ref should not, let me preface by the ref should never be on a team's side. So I'm not saying they should be on our side, but the refs are on the other team's side usually. And it's frustrating. And the one thing I'll say about this game is that Michael Oliver was very consistent, except for the one foul, which everyone's talking about, the Cucurella challenge on Saka, which then Saka fouled him and Saka got the yellow, which I'm obviously going to be in the minority here. I think it was a deserved yellow for Saka. And when you look back, and even in the football match, or you just in life, who gets in trouble? The person who starts it or the person who finishes it? It's always the second person. So I knew once Saka fouled him, okay, Saka's getting a yellow. It's just I get it. And Saka did foul him, I only saw a really quick replay of Cucurella's initial foul on Saka that didn't get called. So I don't know how much of a foul that was. I thought it was a foul, but again, I saw a real quick replay and I couldn't really judge it. And I think something that I'm actually going to ask you this question because I asked it on Twitter and I'm curious, and chat, feel free to answer as well. I'm asking everybody, how many fouls do you think it takes for a rep to kind of be like, all right, here's the yellow? You had way too many fouls. And I obviously assuming all fouls leading up to this yellow were not yellow card offenses. They were just little fouls. Or are you on the other side of the fence completely where you just there should never be a yellow card is a yellow card foul. It's not, it should never be an accumulation of fouls. I'm curious. Like, because I go both ways. Because to me,
it's a great
I don't know.
question. It's a tremendous question, and you going both ways. I don't think Megan's going to be too thrilled to hear you say that. Sorry, I had to. I actually agree with that. I think. I mean, if the question is how many, or is the question should there be?
I mean, it's. I guess it's a. I guess it's a two-part question. I guess the first question would be, do you think a player should get a yellow card for an accumulation of fouls? Or no? Or do you think it's just you get a yellow card for a yellow card foul and that's it?
It's tough. I would say,
yeah.
I think the answer, I would say, I would probably lean more toward there probably is a threshold where if there bumps and the ref is awarding, a foul and a free kick, but it's not a yellow card offense, but the player, but the offending player just isn't getting the hint and just keeps going, then I think the yellow card is not brandished for the challenge as much as it is the recklessness with which the offending player has played the entire match to that point. I would say I don't think in a situation like that, I don't think it would have to be a yellow card offense to get a yellow card if this player is just running guys off the ball left and right. If he's going in reckless and maybe getting away with it a little bit, as in, the challenge itself maybe is reckless, but he missed, but he's still, but the attempted challenge is reckless. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say, yeah, if a player is just out there kind of fouling guys with reckless abandon, I would say, yeah, I think maybe the referee needs to step in and say, okay, you know what, if you're going to keep playing like this, I'm going to give you the yellow because you need to reel it in. Maybe the challenge that he sees the yellow on is the offense itself is not a yellow card, but it's more and that's where, we see the referee talk to the players and sort of explain sometimes why the card. Maybe that's what he does. Maybe he looks at the player and he says, you're all over the place right now, man. You're practically mugging guys, and I've let you get away with it. I've let you play. You're done now. Now you're on the yellow, and one more, and you're going to be out of here. That being said, the player sees the yellow. Is there a number? I don't know that there's a number. I would say I'd probably, if I had to put a number on it, half a dozen.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I feel like we're going to
I think it's an opinion. I think that's a difficult thing about a question like this is there are so many different types. I might even go as far as to say there's no. Well, no, I don't think this is true either. But I think there's so many different kinds of fouls. Like you have your tactical fouls, you have dangerous fouls.
This
is the ball.
This is a good point from Lone Star.
Yeah.
No, the referee also doesn't have to show the card. The referee can also go to the player after blowing the whistle, giving the free kick, saying, "Okay, here's the deal. You're all over the place. You do it again, I'm going to give you the yellow." So maybe there's that, and then if the player continues, then the next one, you've been verbally warned. The next one, you're going to get the card.
So the verbal warning is after the sixth foul, is what you're saying?
I mean, if I had to put a number on it, I feel like, okay, so if the referee is letting things play, and I'm always, as long as it is not a reckless, dangerous, intent to injure kind of challenge, I want the foul. The Cucurella foul on Saka early on in the game, like 10 minutes in, and it was just running him off the ball. It was just a, shoulder into shoulder, but he's knocking him off the ball.
You thought that wasn't a foul?
I want the foul.
No. That's not what I asked. Is it a foul?
I think it's a foul. Yes, I think it's a foul.
Okay.
I would err more on the side of Sorry, my camera just kind of fell. I'd err more on the side of letting them play. That's what I would want to see. I would rather the referee not be involved at all than the referee be involved too much. That being said, I want fouls called as fouls. So I want my cake and I want to eat it too.
Yeah.
It's just I throw my hands up and say, yeah, that's exactly what it is. I want my cake. I want to eat it too. End of.
You heard it here first, everybody. BG is a Burnley fan, not an Arsenal fan. He likes Burnley. The reason why I say this, you just seem like you like aggressive football.
I think we should play with a fair amount of aggression, but it has to be within the parameters of what's legal. But push that boundary, right? I mean, as a player, you're never going to know what you're going to get away with till you try to get away with it. And in this league, with these refs, we know that from game to game. I'm telling you right now, next week, that handball on Cucurella in the box, well, close. I'm not sure what would have happened there had they awarded a handball. But we see the same thing next week, and it's called a handball and a penalty's given. We don't know what the hell we don't know what they're going to call. So as a player, you go into a game, you're like, I don't know, maybe the referee is feeling lenient today and he's not going to call this stuff. So you go in and you do it. You're not going to know what you can get away with until you try to get away with it.
Yeah, and I think that's why this question. So
it's a fantastic question. I don't know, maybe 6 is too many. Yeah. Maybe
the tweet. So I'll tell you. I think I had like 4 or 5 people respond to me. They all said 3, all of them. I think someone said 3 to 4, and I think it's just tough. I think so. Part of me thinks maybe the 3rd challenge. You talk to him. If you're the ref, you talk to him on the 3rd challenge. Like, listen, like, knock it off, or I'm going to warn you. Depending on what the 4th is, if the 4th is just unlucky and whatever, maybe you lay off on the card. But the 5th, you're like, okay, I'm giving. I like the.
I mean, it's and
it all again. It depends on the foul. So, for instance, let's say we have the ball. We're about to start a counterattack. We're on the counterattack, and we kind of just get. Who did it? Oh my God! So whatever. Someone impeded our counterattack, and they immediately got a yellow. Like, that's just an immediate yellow card.
You talking about Gallagher's skirt cut with Tierney?
No, I think it was Sterling. No, Sterling. I think Sterling was Sterling's yellow. He just stopped. Okay. He stopped the field of play, and it's like you have fouls that are just, and not they're innocuous, but like it's an automatic yellow because you're stopping the counter. I guess shirt pulling is pretty much an automatic yellow.
Yeah.
So it's tough, and funny. It's funny how I got the same answer to the question. I don't think there's an answer. I don't think there's a right. I mean, there obviously isn't a right or wrong answer, but I don't think there's an answer because I think every ref's different. I think with Oliver today, I think he was very consistent. He called pretty much everything. I mean, to me, a foul's a foul. I think you have a couple every now and then in a game where you're kind of like, oh, it can go either way. But for the most part, you make contact with the player and not the ball, or you just try. You have to play the ball no matter what. And I think I'm shocked that Cucurella got away with what he got away with. I think numerous times he kept telling Michael Oliver, like, oh, I'm using my shoulder. And it's like, yeah, but like if you look at his eyes when he's going toward the ball, like he's not even like he isn't even looking at the ball. He sees where Saka is,
play on the ball,
and he tries to. He's trying to tackle Saka off the ball, but it's like
right.
You have
That's why the Saka yellow card. This is where my problem with Michael Oliver came in today because he had called the Cucurella incident right before that he let go. He called 3 or 4 times previous to that. Was the same thing.
I didn't think it was. I think it was Cucurella and Saka were fighting with the ball. Cucurella won the ball. He got Saka in the process. So it's definitely a foul. But I think it might have been the 1st or 2nd Cucurella challenge on Saka where it was like Saka was going into the 18-yard box and Cucurella saw him and Cucurella looked at Saka, didn't even look at the ball. He looked at Saka and he just almost I don't care about the ball. I'm going to run right in. He rammed right into him. It's, you have to, I think to me, you have to make a play on the ball. I think it's the moment you're making a play on the player, not the ball, I think to me, it's an automatic foul. And he got away with a lot. Yes, Michael Oliver called most of them, but he should have been cautioned. And it's a shame because, the one foul that Michael Oliver doesn't call, which again, it was a foul, but I wasn't that upset about the no call because refs have no called way worse fouls.
Yeah.
But just for Saka to respond, I was like, why would you do that? Just maybe get Cucurella back 5 minutes later. You would have been fine. Had Saka did that same challenge, not the same phase of play, Saka wouldn't have had a yellow, So it's tough when you're dealing with.
I think Cucurella should have seen yellow for that challenge. And the reason that I say that,
I want to actually watch that to find it.
Is the reason that I say that is for exactly the question that you just asked. I'm pretty sure I saw you tweet it out, and then I went to respond, and it was gone. So I think you deleted the original one, and then did it again. But that's one of those situations where, I think he probably should have seen the yellow card in that instance for exactly the point you just made. He was just out there, running around like a headless chicken with reckless abandon, fouling everybody, fouling Saka. And Lone Star, this is not true now because Cucurella did eventually, I think, get a yellow card for fouling Saka later in the game.
No, I don't think Cucurella didn't get booked.
No, he didn't get I thought he did.
I'm going to check right now.
They got 4 all told. Chalobah got one.
No,
Cucurella didn't get one. Damn.
So the yellow cards are Aubameyang in the first half.
So
Aubameyang, Azpilicueta, Chalobah, Gallagher, and Sterling.
Wow. Saka's been booked 3 times this season. Only one player has been booked for a foul.
Orbinho tweeted that.
That's insane. That's a crazy, crazy stat to me.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? So to kind of bring things, maybe back into focus with the match today, I feel like we really fought through those moments and really showed our class with just a top to bottom, beginning to end domination. One thing that I thought about after the game was over, before I went back to sleep, it's always a combination of one team being better than, okay, or were we that good today, or were Chelsea that bad? And I get that it's a mix. We played well.
Honestly, I think we were that. I don't know. I don't think it's usually I agree with you. I don't think Chelsea were that bad. I think we were that good.
Okay.
I mean, you look and you say Aubameyang had 6 touches the entire game until he got subbed off. You're like, oh, they played. Oh, Aubameyang did that for us week in, week out. So
yeah,
I really don't think Chelsea played bad. And funny enough, I again put to my notes. I thought Azpilicueta did a really good job at kind of silencing Martinelli. I wrote in the first half. I'm shocked we didn't force the left side, play triangles, play Xhaka, Martinelli, Zinchenko, and just run at Azpilicueta. Just run, frustrate him because he's known to have a little temper.
Mm-hmm.
Frustrate him, have him make a foul. He's old. He's slow. And we just didn't. We kept going the right side. I want to see us play that triangle on the left side. I want Azpilicueta to be forced to make a decision, kind of like what he did to Saka. They gave us a penalty late. I think it was a game last season where like people's like, oh, Saka kind of made a meal of it, but you need to force these defenders to make a decision, because once they have to make a decision, it's usually not necessarily it's the wrong one, but usually it's right for the striker, whether or not the striker is going to pass you or he makes contact and it's a foul. Funny enough, they did it a few times in the second half, and Azpilicueta did a really good job, and I think he played really well. And to be fair, I know I've said this before, and I said it in the first half. Like, I think he's slow, he's old, whatever. I'm like, God, Asmacletta's pretty quick considering his age and just like the way he plays and stuff. He's not that slow. And I know I said this before, but it was interesting. But yeah, no, I mean, and then you have the Thiago Silva. Like, if Thiago Silva wasn't on that pitch today, we probably would have beat him by like 3 or 4. I think Thiago Silva saved them a little bit. But yeah, no, I don't think Chelsea really played poor at all. And then you look at the rest of their 11, and we talked about it on the last show. They had a lot of injuries. To me, for them, Conor Gallagher should have started the game. He didn't. Their 11 was just interesting.
Their midfield was non-existent today.
They don't have it. Like, I don't. To me, their weakest point is their midfield.
Yeah.
And it's tough to do when you have a 30-year-old center back. Azpilicueta is like probably in his mid-30s. Yeah. You're not getting any younger in the defense, and I feel like
they're an old team.
I know they have new owners, but like just from previous regimes, like they kind of just spend a lot of money to buy strikers. They did it with Timo Werner, they did Lukaku, now Aubameyang, and I don't know, like they just keep getting it wrong. But it's I didn't. Potter gets all this credit, and and shout out to Mikey Harris, because me and Mikey Harris were two people that were just like, I don't think it's going to be that easy. Like, oh, Graham Potter's killing it with Brighton, he's going to kill it with Chelsea. No, it's just a different school of thoughts. Different school of thoughts. Different.
Well, yeah, I mean, different expectations. At a big club like Chelsea for him, and yeah, I think he did a great job with Brighton, and I know that he has to take that job.
And yeah, 100%.
He can't turn that job down. But imagine if he would have Brighton are still, so they're a good team. They're a decent side. They're in the top 10. They have not fallen that far off since losing Potter. Imagine he stays there and says, look, you know what, Chelsea, I'm going to stay where I am. I want to build something here. I've always been, I'd rather go somewhere and build it than join it halfway through the progress. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've always been like that too. Yeah,
it's always, I can't, I'm never going to be in a position to, turn down an offer from a Big Six club to go manage them. But I think he's going to find life is a lot more miserable at Chelsea than it was at Brighton. Part of it is expectations. I think most of it, quite frankly, is expectations. But I also think that, if you look at the Brighton hammered them last week, 4-1. Yeah. So you just look at that and you just say, boy, did Potter make the right decision in leaving Brighton? I don't know.
It's an interesting discussion because, in my opinion, I think Potter at Brighton, they're a better team. I think if Potter stayed at Brighton, I think they would be probably West Ham of a few seasons ago, where they would get into the Europa League places and really fight and stake a claim. I think without Potter, I think they're going to probably finish at the very bottom of the top half, maybe like 8th, 9th, maybe 10th. Okay. Who knows? We'll see. I'm always wrong with these kind of prediction things, but I don't know. And we talked about it before, just the injuries that Chelsea have. When you have a midfield of Mason Mount, Loftus-Cheek, and Jorginho, I'm not scared. I think Jorginho is a little overrated. I think Mason Mount is extremely overrated.
Yeah.
I think the English media and a lot of Chelsea fans want him to be their Saka, and he just isn't. I don't think they want him to be like, oh, like he played for Derby County. We got him. But he came over with what's his name?
Lampard.
Like, Wayne Rooney coached him, and Wayne was like, oh, he's gonna be so good. And he came and he had a few like sparks here and there, and he's all right. Like, he's not great. Like he could play in the I guess my funny enough, people want him to be a Saka. To me, he's an Eddie Nketiah. I think he's good. He could play in the Premier League, but like you're not going to get anything out of him week in, week out. And I think like he gets forced down our throats a lot as far as the media is concerned, because we're not Chelsea supporters, so it doesn't really matter to us. But he plays a lot for Chelsea. He's going to play a lot for England, and I know a lot of England people are not too keen on him. But Loftus-Cheek is just like inconsistent. Like 1 minute I think he's really good, the next minute I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe Chelsea have him still.
Moments of brilliance followed by hours of disappointment. I think that's a good way to sum up both of those players.
And you know, I don't think they're good, and I think Thomas Partey absolutely bossed them.
Oh, he sure did.
Yeah, going back to I guess like what we were what started this whole thing is I don't think Chelsea played bad. I think they are bad. I think we just played really good, and I think our 11 is just superior to them.
Yeah. Lone Star, I watched the goal. You know what I saw was Cucurella basically just hugging Granit Xhaka. I retweeted a video that somebody had put up, and then I quote tweeted it with Mark Cucurella has a Granit Xhaka lunchbox. I don't know if you saw that. I did not see Saliba making a run to get in front of the first man.
I see. I made a tweet. I thought it was hilarious, and like 2 people liked it, and I was like, I mean, that's fine. Which is true. Well, no, because it's a joke with some of my friends, but my wife Megan, when she travels a lot for work, so I tweet something like, when I know she's leaving for work, because we don't know when she's going or what assignment she gets, or where she's going. So I thought it was really funny, but no one liked it, so I was like, I guess it wasn't that clever, but whatever.
I'll have to go back and look at it. I didn't.
Nah, it's fine. It's not a big deal. But yeah, no, that was crazy. And then I had a few people talk to me and tell me that apparently they heard that if we had not scored, VAR would have gave a penalty to us. It was in the ref notes. I don't really know how you could access the ref notes or where the ref notes are, and they write. I mean, I think I've heard that they write ref notes. But
so you're saying that they were
going to give us a penalty. They were ready to award us a penalty. That's what I heard. I don't know how true it is, but I've heard it from a couple of people. Huh. So,
interesting.
That would have been funny enough. That would have been Cucurella's yellow card. So
yeah,
that he never got. So we saved Cucurella.
Yeah. I don't know what else. I mean, it's comprehensive. I don't know that there's really much to dissect about the game. I mean, I think everyone to a man, I think we said it before, this is the most complete game we've played. I think everyone today had a good game. I think some players were quieter than others, but I think everybody had a good game today. I think, you brought up Martinelli with Azpilicueta.
I don't think Martinelli had a bad game, but I
don't think he had a bad game. Quiet. I think he was a little quiet, but he had moments.
Yeah, he was just quiet. He had moments.
Too. I think
a lot, which is fun. No, just really quick, which I don't agree with, but a lot of people were saying this was Odegaard's worst game for us in an Arsenal shirt, and we need to sell him immediately. And
God.
I think it's just funny, and I feel like I don't know why sometimes I see certain comments and I immediately think of Kelly from Not an Arsenal podcast, because I constantly see him on Twitter and I feel like he finds these crazy fucking comments and he responds and he tries to start shit, which Kelly, keep doing. I
love it. Stir the pot, baby.
But yeah, I saw a bunch of like Odegaard is shit. He's terrible. He was so bad today. He lost every ball he had. We need to get rid of him. And I don't know. It's astounding what people think, but to be fair, I didn't think Odegaard was man of the match either. But I think what Odegaard brings is he connects the front three to Thomas Partey.
Yeah,
he's just So it's funny because when he gets in the box with the ball, he's very slow and he doesn't really he doesn't know if he should shoot or pass. Usually he passes when he should normally shoot. But when he's outside the box, especially when he's right outside that box, I think it's his prime spot because he flicks, he tricks, he knows where to go, he knows where the players are, and he's very quick with the ball, which is something that he did very well for us today. But yeah, I mean,
I mean, he would have been one of the players that I would say was just quiet. He was just quiet. He didn't have a bad game.
I think, to be fair, I think he had a better game than Martinelli.
Yeah.
Again, not to say Martinelli had a bad game, but
right.
There's a big difference between having a bad game and just having a quiet game.
And being quiet. I think
those are not the same thing.
Right.
At least not for me. It's not the same thing.
No. You can have a good game and just be quiet. If I were to put a number on Martinelli's game, I'd probably be a 6 or a 7. I just think he was quiet. I don't think he had a bad game. I don't think he had an average game. I think he had an above average game. For what he in the moments that he had, I think he was good. I think in the moments that Odegaard had, he was good. My player, my man of the match today I would have given it to either Saliba or Thomas Partey. Probably would be inclined to give it to. I'd be inclined, I think, more to give it to Thomas Partey because I think he just really, like you said earlier, he just bossed the midfield, man. I mean, this is one of the best games I think he's played. So,
yeah, he made a lot of very good interceptions. Personally, since you picked Partey, I'm going to pick Saliba.
I don't think, and I mean,
although to me, I'll lay at a third person. I thought Ben White had a fucking.
Oh my god! We need to do a show dedicated to Ben White and show Ben White some love because I'll tell you right now. So 2 summers ago when we bought him, and I saw a lot of people. 50 million pounds on a center back. What are we doing? This, that, and the other thing. And I saw it and I said to myself, this is going to be a damn good signing for us. And he is going to be worth every penny of that 50 mil. There were times last season where I think maybe he felt a little bit of that pressure in trying to prove his worth for that 50 mil. But consider a guy who is I think he's more of a natural center back. I know he can play right. I mean, he's played right back exclusively for us all season long. But I mean, he hasn't put a foot wrong. I don't think all season. He had an off game here or there, but consider the first game of the season at right back, and he's lining up opposite Wilfred Zaha and just pocketed him. I think boy, oh boy. I would say that having a conversation about player of the year for us right now, he's got to be in the top 3. I'd say it's Granit Xhaka, William Saliba, and Ben White right now.
100%. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know who I'd give it to. I'd probably lean toward Xhaka right now. But Ben White, shout out Ben White because it's been a great signing. I don't care what anybody says. It's been a fucking great signing.
I think people knew that at the end of last season. Maybe it was a good signing.
I've seen people even when he has a bad moment where they're just like, in this man called, we spent 50 million pounds on.
Because people always want to be right. They just hang on to like the fiber. So like Ben White has one bad pass. Like, oh, see, and we paid 50 million. It's like, well, you just want to be right, and you're not right. You're wrong. He's fantastic.
I think it's just.
And he can play different positions. He could do different things. He's a defender. He could carry the ball. He could pass the ball well. He's good for shithousing, which we definitely need that.
Did you see him? Did you see him kind of
flick the ball on
Odegaard?
Yeah.
There you go. He does it with his own team.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's a great player, and I the one thing I will say is, I thought maybe he would play a little bit of not necessarily Partey's particular role, but just positioning wise, he would be kind of like that defender in front of the center mid in front of the back 4. Because I know he did that for Leeds. I want to say Leeds, maybe Brighton, but I don't know. But Yeah, I think he could do a lot. And I think kind of going back to our conversation whenever we had the show on Thursday, I think there are just certain players in this team that could do certain things, and they have different attributes, and they can play in different positions, and that's something that we need, and it's a great thing to have. But the players need to want to do it, and I think that now I'm kind of jumping around because that's kind of something I talked about with Lukonga, but yeah, I mean it's just great to see. It's great to see the team playing for each other, and when you have someone like Ben White who was bought as a center back, but now he's first in the team. She has right back every time, and the performances he's putting in, yeah, I would agree. He's definitely in there for team of the player of the season. So it's good.
I mean, I don't know if there's an injury to Saliba or Gabrielle. Would you move him, or would you look to?
If there's an injury to who? Sleeper.
Would you move him inside, or would you keep him at right back? Because I'll be honest with you, just real quick, I think if you move him inside, I think he'll do well, but I think now you've hurt the right back. I think you've hurt the right back position, and I mean, and Tomiyasu could come in and do it, but I think they're two different players. I think they just have two different styles, and I think what Ben White is doing is perfect for what we try to do as a team.
It depends. I mean, it depends who gets hurt at Sleep and Gabrielle, because one's a right center back and one's a left center back. So.
True. I don't.
If it's a right center back, yeah, I'm putting Ben White there. But if it's the left, I honestly would make a shot for Tierney, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. That's the great thing about our fullbacks too. Like Tierney, Tomiyasu, both play center back for their nation, and they've played it for us. So, I mean, do you bring Holding on too? Like we have Holding, so I don't know. It's a good problem to have, and that's I think
it's a great problem. That's kind of the point of the question. It's a great problem.
That's where depth comes in, and like we're actually like we have depth, and we have a problem at like who plays where if someone gets injured. It's great to see.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on today's match? Anything else in your notes that you wanted to throw out there? I don't really have much more to say. I think, like I said,
no. I mean, I think the first half, both teams really wanted this, but we were just better.
It was entertaining. It was it was a very I will say it was an entertaining game. I think
especially at 7 a.m. Yeah, usually I'm like I nodded it off. That's why originally I don't know if I said this live, but when I was talking to you, I was to the people if this wasn't live, I wasn't planning on waking up to watch this game. I was just gonna wake up when I woke up and just put the game on.
I think you did say
it. Because usually at 7 o'clock games, I'll I'll just nod in and out. I'll like watch it and I'll be like, okay. And if it's like not crazy entertaining, I'll just like. Oh yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But no, it was very entertaining. It was chippy, but again, the ref was calling it, and it's nice to play well against a big team. And
at their ground.
And I think that's something that I don't know how much I'll take from it, only because last season the team that was away won both legs. So when we go back to the Emirates, if we could beat them, then I'll be like, okay, like we're good. But yeah, I mean, it's just the only thing I have in my notes I was just gonna say too was just in the 75th minute, Saliba. I think Saliba should be Saka's backup. I said Reece Nelson, but no, I think Saliba should be. He dribbled down that side and just he dribbled past a couple defenders and he laid it in. Oh, it was. I forgot what happened. I think it was. I think Odegaard missed. I don't remember, but yeah, Saliba could do it all. Yeah, I mean, we could talk about this game forever. I feel if we really wanted to, but yeah, just overall good performance, and hopefully we could carry it into. We got Brighton right, but I think Brighton will be severely changed. So I really want to get 3 points against Wolves and really go into this World Cup break top of the table.
Yeah, we said a couple of weeks ago is this World Cup break coming at the right time? Because a little bit of a dip in form. I think we probably talked about it after the Southampton match. A little bit of a dip in form, and now we seem to be coming back up. So is it, are we hitting this break now? Maybe at a bad time? Is it coming at a time where our form is starting to rise again, and then we're gonna be off for a month? I don't know. It's kind of nice to have this break and recharge the batteries and come back for the final 24 matches of the season. At the same time, like I say, to me, it's a bit of a catch-22 because kind of want to keep going here. And I'm really not all that interested in the World Cup. I honest to God couldn't care less.
See, I want to be in that. I want to be in that camp, but I can't. I love the World Cup.
I know.
It's very difficult because of the situation. I think this is going to be a World Cup that I am least excited about than the other World Cups. But it's very annoying that it interrupts our season. It really clogs up fixtures and stuff. It really fucks us. But I don't know. Just the whole group. It's a Champions League. Essentially in a month. I mean, granted, you don't play 2 legs in the knockout stage, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's I love it. I love the World Cup, and I'm going to be excited to root on Germany. Obviously, not USA. Although I do want to see him get out of the group. I'm more excited to root for Arsenal. Don't get me wrong, but to say I'm not excited, I'm not going to watch. And I know Dortmund had the boycott Qatar, the banner in with the yellow wall, but I don't know. I just love it. I
know that's and I don't want to get into it.
That's why I was I just hope there's no hiccups. It just goes smoothly, and then when it's over, it just goes silently away into the night. And it's
I'll be
bye. See you later.
I'll be paying attention, but I'll be paying attention mostly to the Arsenal players that are going to be there.
And that's the thing too. To be fair, for me, I grew up watching German soccer or German football. So I'm very tied to the national team. So I'm going to be watching their games like a hawk. And for people that, for Americans, I guess that either don't really watch, international games or even if they are a big USA soccer fan, I mean, they should get out of the group, but
they'll get out of it. They'll
probably lose the first. They'll probably finish second in the group, and they'll get knocked out in the first round against a group winner, which I don't even know what group winner they would play. So, I mean,
isn't it a random draw or is it already decided?
No, they play. I think so. If you're in Group A, I'm gonna pull it up. It's decided to see the.
Okay, well,
but you
at any rate, the World Cup. Like I say, for me, it's just an interruption to the season. It's a month where it just, for me, it just sucks. It's a month without Arsenal when I've, been used to having Arsenal. But I'll find something else to focus on and whatnot. I just don't care. And there's a, there's a political aspect to it, which I'm not going to get into.
They're probably going to play Netherlands in the first round. Yeah, they're getting
of the knockout stage
because they would play the winner of Group A, which is Netherlands, Qatar, Senegal, and Ecuador. Which I mean, I would like to think Netherlands wins that group handily, but oh my, it's World Cup.
Yeah, well, at least it's not Brazil or Belgium. But like I say, I will pay attention. But I'll be paying attention for other reasons, and I don't have the what's the word I want to use here? I mean, I'll be rooting for the USA. Why? Because I'm American. I'm going to root for them, But I get why I get why you root for the Germans. I if there were another international team that I would root for, based on roots and things like that, it'd be England. My roots are English, and
Can't root for Harry Kane.
can't
That's the one thing
root for
I don't know how people
Magic Mike,
Arsenal fans can root for. Yeah. I guess I can't.
Because he loves England.
I just I can't.
If you're full blown English, like Lone Star, you're from England. You were born over there. You're English. I get you rooting for England. I get it. Believe me. I just, as an American, as an Arsenal fan, I can't root for Harry Kane. But like I said,
and like Eric Dyer, like there's just
Harry Maguire,
dude. Yeah. There's talk because
but it's tough because what if Ben White and Bukayo Saka are both there?
Yeah, but it's funny because spoiler if you didn't watch the Liverpool Tottenham game, but Eric Dyer gave like Liverpool essentially a goal, and someone tweeted this, and I forgot who it was, so I can't give you credit, but the thought of Southgate potentially starting a center back duo of Harry Maguire and Eric Dyer, yeah, that is insanity at its finest. So
so I guess we'll wrap things up here. Good recap show. Just kind of run through the table here real quick. Not that it's just, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's a way to end the show, but obviously we're on top. And the nice thing is
so many teams lost. Like if fucking Fulham couldn't just, people say that De Bruyne dive. Yes, it was, but Fulham, I don't know. To me, when I watch games, I think when a team goes down to 10 men, it's like you have to put put on their neck. Like there's no you literally have one extra player on the field. Like you can't. And Fulham aren't a bad team. They're sitting I think 7th or 8th right now.
9th.
Okay, 9th. But still top half of the table.
Yeah.
Mitrovic can score goals. He didn't play well. They have little players that can do things, and they just fuck it in the end. And I'm just like, you got it. I was not happy, but top of the league. I think a big thing is yes. Like I said, I would like to see top of the league come the World Cup break, but really, I want to be top of the league when the season ends. But I think being top of the league come January is gonna be a big deal because I think it could. Whether we want to make signings is irrelevant. It's just we can if we if we need to. If we have injuries, we have that pull. We're top of the league. So and Arteta said this in an interview, and I completely agree. If we're top of the league come January, we will attract a different level of player. And Arteta did say he wants to sign at least one player I think he said he wants to sign one player of another level higher. I don't know, but so it'll be interesting because everyone's talking about a winger. I don't know. We'll see what's out there.
Yeah, definitely think during the World Cup break we'll be in here with a show where we kind of look at potential transfer targets and talk a little bit about it and things like that. Lone Star, I'm with you on the Newcastle thing. I wouldn't say I'm worried. But I'll tell you right now. And
I'm worried. They're the third best team. It's us and Man City, and then Newcastle are right there.
Well, and I'm going to tell you right now, Newcastle, mark my words, they're going to finish, barring injury, they're going to finish third. They're going to finish third. They're
to be interesting.
I do not think. So we'll run through this real quick. My oldest dog just got up, so that means that she's probably got to go do some business here, and it's just about time for the puppies to eat anyway. But just real quick, you think they're better than Tottenham? I do. I think they're better than United. I think they're better than Brighton, and I think they're better than Chelsea.
I think it's just tough when a team comes out of nowhere, like West Ham. I go back again, like West Ham a few seasons ago, or maybe even more than a few. They came out of nowhere, and next season they kind of tapered off a little bit, but they kind of emerged out of nowhere, and they're like, oh, this team might be good. And I think Newcastle is going to do that, except I think they're going to kind of like stay the course. They're going to kind of stay up there. But I don't know.
I don't. I'll put it to you this way. I don't. If anyone is going, Liverpool are going to come on.
Yeah.
Liverpool are. Sorry, I don't know where Kenzie went. But anyway, they're going to come on. They're going to go through a run of games where they're going to win everything, and they're going to get back into the conversation.
I hate to say this, I think Man U will too.
United and Liverpool, I think, are the two teams that I think for third place, it's a 3-team race. And despite Liverpool being in 8th right now and being 8 points behind Newcastle for third, I think they'll figure it out. But I would say United and Liverpool are the two. It's United, Liverpool, and Newcastle. They're going to fight it out for 3, 4, and 5.
I also think Chelsea will try to make absolutely crazy signings. I'm not saying it'll work. I think Todd Bowley is going to go in January and really try to like pull something out of his ass. Like I think he's going to try to make something crazy happen. I mean, to be fair, I think he kind of did with the Aubameyang thing. Like I think that kind of came out of nowhere, and he was just like, oh, like he's really good. He's like I don't think he kind of knows what he's doing. I mean, we'll see if he gets people under him that do know what they're doing. But yeah, I think that Lone Star's it's a great point. They have no European football, so I think they will have a shot. But I don't know. I don't know if they could. I think they have the pieces there. Like I think they're kind of like us last season, where I think like they can do it. Will they? I don't know. But I think next season they had a couple key components. I think they're going to be 100% team to watch out for.
I think they're going to do that in January.
I mean, we'll see. I mean,
they have in January, and they're up to third, and I think they really feel like they are building a team that can go out and compete and finish top 4, and I think they'll make the additions in January to do it. They did it last year.
It'll be. I'm excited to podcast the day the transfer window shuts in January. Yeah. I mean, again, there might not be a lot of movement because there normally isn't. We know everyone gets their stuff done, in the summer. But I think teams like Chelsea and Newcastle, I think they're going to try their best to make waves. And this is the 1 year. This is probably the most competitive Premier League year we've had. So I do expect teams to try to make more moves than normal in January, but will they actually happen? We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I pretty much just ran through the table. I'm not going to do the bottom half. I mean, who
gives a shit?
Yeah, we're 8 points. We're 8 points clear of 4th place right now. So that is almost 3 full games clear of
just keep surviving and advancing.
Yep. What I said earlier, and I've said it from the beginning of the season. The most important game is the next one. That's the most important game. And I tweeted it out earlier. Stay humble, keep our heads down, have each other's backs. We go again on Wednesday. It's an FA Cup match. Yes, I expect heavy rotation. Would not be I'll be disappointed to lose. I don't want to lose any game. But in the grand scheme of what we're trying to accomplish this season, it wouldn't be the worst thing to fall out of one of the competitions.
It's probably the least. I mean, I don't know. It's the least important trophy.
Yeah.
It's the least important trophy. So it's like, okay, cool, whatever.
So, you guys know where to find us at the Bearded Gooner, at Arse Bros Ryan. He's got it right there. Make sure you are liking the video, disliking the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications. Lone Star, turn on notifications so you know when we go live. It's a little bit, I don't want to say it's helter-skelter. We're always here on Sundays to do the Sunday Gunner. We're doing one show a week, usually a Wednesday or a Thursday, depending on schedules. So like I say, make sure you click the bell and turn the notifications on so you know when we are live. Any final thoughts from you?
No, I just, love the way we're playing. Hopefully we can keep it up. We need a big win against the Wolves to close the pre-World Cup season, I guess. But yeah, like I said, I'm excited. I'm happy. But again, just survive in advance.
Yep. That's all we got. You guys know what to do in terms of the channel and the social media and all that good stuff. So Everybody have a good week. We'll see you out there.